All right, so welcome everyone to this work session. Let me just share the link in my Facebook group and we'll get started. All right, so welcome everyone to this work session. And basically this is a work session, so it's not a webinar. And I'm just going to share my thinking and share my screen so that you can see how I'm going to build Calligraphy for Everyone, which is a membership site where I'm going to teach calligraphy to people all over the world. So if you'll just give me a minute, I'll just share the screen here. And the purpose of these work sessions, which I'm live streaming, is that I just want to share with you what I'm actually doing to create value and make money. And so it's not going to be 100% applicable to your situation, but hopefully you can gain a few ideas on what I'm doing, what I'm actually doing, and it's going to benefit you as you strive to find ways to make money with artificial intelligence. So, okay, let's get started. So here you see the diagram that I'm always showing from now on to entrepreneurs, and basically this diagram shows that you have zero product. So even if you offer a service, consulting, coaching, training, tutoring, public speaking, keynote speaking, all of that is good, but you have a zero product. And so you don't want to get stuck in a job, because when you're a freelancer, when you're a solo entrepreneur and you're offering a service, you're basically, focused on a job. And I'm not saying that it's bad, like a bicycle is good, it gets you from point A to point B. But if you want to become rich, and it is possible and increasingly feasible because of AI, you have to forget about this idea of a job, which is going to be very hard, because for our entire lives, including childhood, where we saw our parents work so hard to put food on the table, what do our parents have? They have jobs. We look at our siblings, what do they have? They have jobs, right? So it's very easy to think about jobs as the only way to make money, but you have to change your mindset, and it's a change of mindset that could result in millions of dollars for you. So it's worth it. But don't take my word for it. Let's just do this, and I'll explain what I'm doing, and you can decide for yourself if I'm right or if I'm wrong. So what I'm saying is that instead of focusing on jobs where you're offering your time in exchange for money, and that means you're working horizontally, that's what this arrow shows, you have to move vertically. You have to innovate, and you have to move up. But it's not easy to move up, right? It's like a rocket that's trying to propel itself off the ground. There's gravity that is keeping you on the ground where you have zero product. And so you have to find a way to create at least one product, okay? At least one product. Not a service, really a product. And this is the diagram I showed in a previous live stream, where you can create a digital product, which is probably the easiest product to create because it's digital, right? So your customers can pay and they can download your digital product, or they can stream your product online so they can consume it, for example, a video course. And once you have this one product, then the marketing can be done by you or by others, and then you can make millions of dollars. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's very easy to make millions of dollars when you have a product, because you're just making copies of that product all over the internet. In fact, you don't make a copy of that product, it's your customers, because they use their phones, their tablets, their laptops to make a copy of your master copy, right? So they make a copy, and every time they make a copy of your product, you're making money. So your customers are paying you, and they make a photocopy of your product. To drive home this point even more clearly visually, if you don't mind, I'm just going to create a visual that is going to show you how this actually works. How do you get to $1 million or more? So what's happening is that to make $1 million or more, I'm just going to reduce the size of this. Because oftentimes, when people see something visually, they see the actual mechanics, they're more likely to believe it. And I need you to believe that this is how it works. So I'm going to put the marketing arrow aside. So once you create this master product, okay, this is the first copy, and of course you should have a backup. After that, it's just a matter of making tons of copies. Every time you make a copy of your master product, you're printing money. But you have to create this master copy, this original copy in the first place. And so in this work session, I'm gonna show you a way for me to create this master copy, a way that is natural to me, that I really enjoy doing. And from my enjoying this activity or this series of steps, I'm gonna create tons of digital products that have to do with calligraphy, because I'm launching a Calligraphy for Everyone membership site. All right, so we're going to start from scratch. So let me just create a completely new drawing. So I'm really starting from scratch here. And by the way, when you create this diagram where you show from scratch what you're doing, it makes it so much easier for other people to give you feedback. They can tell me, hey Peter, on step number 3 you said you would do this, but actually if you do it this way, it's going to be better, it's going to be faster, etc. So I'm inviting all my friends, especially my business friends, to provide feedback. And it's kind of hard for them to read a business plan. Nobody wants to read a business plan, but it would take them just 5 minutes to look at my diagram here, and they can really understand my Calligraphy for Everyone empire. Well, I say empire, but it's not really an empire. It's really like a membership site, but it's going to be global. So this is the Calligraphy for Everyone. I don't know. I don't remember if it's com or org. I think it's com. Open Digital University is org, and my fellow Canadians are okay. Yeah. So Calligraphy for Everyone is a membership site. So that's what I'm building. So the first thing that I do is a live stream, right? So I go on YouTube and I live stream. In other words, I use my 2K webcam. I'm not sure, but I think if I use my 2K webcam, YouTube is gonna show it in 2K. But if your computer is 1080p, you will see it in 1080p. But more and more people today have a television set that they connect to the internet, and they can actually see in 2K. I think so on YouTube it's 12 hours, and I think that live stream on YouTube it's 12 hours, and I think that live streaming on YouTube is better. Streaming on YouTube is better because what if something happens, YouTube is going to convert your live stream into a YouTube video. But if something happens while you're live streaming on Facebook, to join the live stream, and so people can ask me all their questions in the chat box on YouTube, and I will be able to answer right away because I can see. So someone can say, hey Peter, can you redo the A? I'm not sure I understand how you did the lettering, so I'm gonna redo the A. So it's in video and audio all over the world. Video and audio all over the world in 2K. I mean, it's just in 2K. I mean, it's just impossible, and we get to use YouTube to broadcast all over the world in 2K, like 2K is very high resolution. 2K is very high resolution for free. I mean, you just need to have for free. I mean, you just need to have a smartphone. Cut into clips. So clips. So it can be, I don't know, maybe 5 minute. It can be, I don't know, maybe 5 minute, 2 minute, 2 minute, or 5 minute, or 5 minute, or maybe just any amount of minutes, as long as it's under 5. Any amount of minutes, as long as it's under 5. playlist can be all my italic calligraphy. Another playlist can be all my italic calligraphy. Another playlist could be all the every time I wrote the letter A. So it can be different groups of videos. So create playlist, groups of videos. So create playlist, because sometimes people just want to learn italic calligraphy, which is one. People just want to learn italic calligraphy, which is one style, and other times access to worksheets and a lot of content. Times access to worksheets and a lot of content, audio content, video content, access to worksheets and a lot of content, audio content, video content, PDF files, etc. And so they're going to get audio content, video content, PDF files, etc. And so they're going to get the whole course. But by the time they consider buying the course, for $97, they will have seen my competency, my expertise. They will have seen my competency, my expertise, my experience is all about. You can join and it's going to teach you step by step how it's all about. You can join and it's going to teach you step by step how to become a calligraphy master. In that sense, very, very different from the other. So let me just use arrows to show you. That's exactly what's. Let me just use arrows to show you. That's exactly what's happening. So the clips are very useful. They can become trailers. So the clips are very useful. They can become trailers or they can be part of the video course. You see, I love these diagrams because you can put in a rectangle to clearly describe the tasks, so that you can recruit other people, so that you can focus on what only you can do. So let me choose a color. Okay, let's say I'm going to choose the color orange. Well, it's kind of like warm, so it means that other people can do this. I can do it, but obviously I'm not going to do a good job. And the trailer is the idea, right? It's not like an easy task. Well, unless you're such a famous director like Denis Villeneuve that you right away. In orange, we have tasks that I can outsource. Invite people. Somebody else can do that for me. Invite people. Somebody else can do that for me. Invite people in my Facebook group, in my LinkedIn groups, etc. So somebody else can do that. So you can see already the great utility. So somebody else can do that. So you can see already the great utility of a diagram like this. I to other people. Include in the video course to other people. Include in the video course. That's easy. Right, I just put the clip into Camtasia. Finalize the video course, meaning like put the music, the caption, everything. That is like put the music, the caption, everything. That is hard. In the marketing, obviously, I have to upload on Gumroad, write the sales page, and start promoting it. So it's that is not the hard part. So remember, we said earlier that the main task is to create one product, the digital product. In this case, the video course. So I think I'm going to rectangles can be done by other people. We can see that this is easy. It's done by me, and the finalization will create another slide. But right now we're going to focus on the live streaming, which is actually, I think it's harder than. And Francis Ford Coppola. And it's really interesting because he made a huge mistake during the filming, because he was filming in the Philippines, and at the time, I think in the 1970s, they didn't have and do a second shoot, which is, oh my God, such a huge mistake. So anyways, I guess my point is that you have to plan the live stream. The live stream is spontaneous, but it shouldn't be like what I'm doing right now. Like I'm being very free flowing and very bohemian. I'm so used to doing a live stream by myself. I'm one of those crazy people who is able to talk to themselves. I'm kind of crazy that way, but it's actually a skill, right? I don't need to have an audience. I can just speak and enjoy my voice and enjoy my I have a webcam 2K. So it's actually not really a script, like as if I was an actor, but it's more like the outline of the live stream. So for example, so there's going to be a special link where they get it half price. Of course, some people will not watch the live stream. They're just going to wait for the special offer, which is fine. So I want to be honest and tell people the live stream is free, but at the end, if you stick around, you're going to get a special code and you get it for $49. Okay, what else for me to describe what's going to happen during the live stream, because I'm going to use that text to promote live stream. So I'm going to do a demo, which is what people really want. I'm going to answer questions. I'm going to perform special in the video course. What else? Yeah, maybe in the live stream I can also do I think they call it makeover. So I can take the calligraphy of a student and I can redo the letters and the words that she did, because it allows me to memorize easily. And when I speak to people and I mention the acronym, I sound very smart, but actually it's just a mnemonic. So drama, so I need a letter A here. Demo, requests, answers, makeover, and A. But it's not going to be me. I'm going to be taking a break for 30 minutes. So the pre-recorded video, that's what I call automation. So there you have it, guys. Another amazing acronym I just created. Drama is really the foundation for a good live stream. So you see, like this is what I was talking about earlier. Like when things come out of my brain I didn't even know were there. So this is really valuable in terms of a framework. So anyways, I do a live stream. I fulfill these criteria, and I do this for about 12 hours, and that's it. This is not put it down somewhere so that we remember. So this is like the seed. The live stream is the seed, okay? And from the seed, you nurture the seed, you improve it through Camtasia, and you get a money. Facetiously, you're going to be a loser, a relative loser compared to people who have a product. And when I talk about digital product, one guy was actually very angry, like he almost insulted me. When I was talking about how AI is going to eliminate jobs, about something that you did well. Yes, well, bada bing, bada boom. You have the recipe, you have all the ingredients for creating a product, a digital product. If you didn't have a smartphone, no product possible. If you were mute, you can't speak, well, you can still use AI, right? So even mute people who cannot speak, they can still create like if you're an immigrant and English is not your first product, because I know a lot of people are thinking Peter is this guy, he's totally crazy, he thinks that anyone can create a digital product. So let me prove it to you. Like don't dismiss it right away. Like don't just say I can't create a digital product. I'm gonna create a digital product. Like at the very least, you need a smartphone, like a modern one. Like these days, there's 5.22 billion people who have a smartphone. So I think you're part of that group. I think you know Python, you know computational thinking. Well, not all software engineers know computational thinking, but if the ambitious engineers, especially from Silicon Valley, additional thinking, and I highly recommend that you look it up on Google or YouTube. This is a very powerful skill that about motivating employees. Whatever you did where you are successful, or whatever you did that the employer pays you for, like managing a project, that is useful, and therefore you can teach it to other people. Okay, you can create a video product, how to do that. Sorry. Okay. So what is a product? Okay, a product is an object, the product. Like, do you think that Elon Musk is creating content? Sure, he's tweeting all the time on X, it's useful because he's a political player now, so he has to influence people's mind, right? But for most people, like, don't just object that can work. It can be a digital object or physical object that can work independent of its creator and creates value for the user. And we don't really have to say value here, because if the user pays you at least $1, obviously they're getting some value out of it, right? So it creates value. So that's in big, because that's the holy grail that you're aiming for. Before your product, you have to work, be focused on create English, French, Spanish, Mandarin, German, like 200 languages. But I have to create this incredible asset, $97 calligraphy. This is just the beginning. Later on, I have to be able to improve the course and make it even better and better and better. At some point, you have to create the first copy, $97. And that's the goal. So I'm going to put that in green, right? Because I'm very greedy. When I see green, I think about money. So that's the ultimate. People asking me questions, right? So there's people asking me questions, right? So they're gonna ask me question. Oh, you know what? I just thought about something. Dramas, plural, and the S can stand dramas, plural, and the S can stand for suggestion. So this is viewers who are suggesting suggestion. So this is viewers who are suggesting that I do something, and this is very important. It's feedback. So they don't have, and of course it's important to improve. And of course it's important to improve the live stream, because the suggestions will help me. The live stream, because the suggestions will help me. Because I am focused on doing calligraphy. I'm not focused on improving. I'm focused on doing calligraphy. I'm not focused on improving the students' experience, right? I'm just focused on calligraphy. But they will tell experience, right? I'm just focused on calligraphy. But they will tell me, from their student perspective, that if I do it in a certain way, it is live streaming. Student perspective, that if I do it in a certain way, it is live streaming technically, but it's actually product development, real time, with customer feedback in real time. This is amazing. It's like I'm creating the final video course through my live stream, right? And viewers, there can be thousands of them, and viewers, there can be thousands of them, and they each. So consider the other way of doing this. Let's say that I cannot live stream. So consider the other way of doing this. Let's say that I cannot live stream. I don't have OBS Studio. YouTube doesn't exist. What would I do? I would be in my calligraphy studio, and I would just create a calligraphy video course. I would say, okay, first you have to do this, second you have to do this, but there's no feedback. And then I finalize my calligraphy video, open to criticism. So I have to put my ego aside. Open to criticism. So I have to put my ego aside. Okay, put my ego aside and live stream, and get people's suggestions and questions aside, and live stream, and get people's suggestions and questions and requests, etc. And then I can create a great product. So in this live stream, I hope that you can see that it took you years and years, not just in terms of time but effort. You had years, not just in terms of time but effort. You have to learn it, right? You have to master. You have to learn it, right? You have to master. You have to practice. So don't sell yourself cheap, to practice. So don't sell yourself cheap. Tell yourself that if people are serious about learning from you, they should pay at least $100. Serious about learning from you, they should pay at least $100. At least $100, not less. And if they fool around with a job or a career, not less. And if they fool around with a job or a career, this is rare. This is really like almost like a scam. We've been conditioned to think about jobs, really like almost like a scam. We've been conditioned to think about jobs. After you graduate, you're going to get a job. Dad, why after you graduate, you're going to get a job? Dad, why do I have to study? Because you want to have a job. Why do I have to study? Because you want to have a job. People think about job as the best thing in the world, but people think about job as the best thing in the world, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I left creates value without your presence, and you can value without your presence, and you can sell it online, and the internet almost becomes like your ATM, your automated machine, almost becomes like your ATM, your automated machine, your bank that is printing money for you, but something that you will only truly believe